Hello, everyone. I'm so excited to be here. This is your coach, Vanda Martin here. And today I have such a treat for you. Such a wonderful treat. I have someone here that is so amazing. He's so cool and brilliant. And I brought him here to talk to you guys. And so he can talk to you and share his energy, his wisdom, and all his beautiful style and energy. So here with me, Tyler Whitman. Hello, Super Tyler.
Hello, the crowd goes wild. You can hear people cheering on the other side of their computers right now, like, oh my God, is that really him? No, I'm just kidding.
It's him, yes. Yes, here with Coach V. Oh my gosh, so excited. Of course, many of you know Tyler. And if you don't know, oh my gosh, let me just say three things. He's an amazing top producer, one of the best in the world. He's also the superstar of the $1 Million Listing TV show that you guys watch on Bravo, right? That we love. And he's the founder and the host of the great podcast, Glitter and Gay. And I want to know all about it. So Tyler, darling, tell us about you. Tell us how you got in real estate. Give us the whole enchilada.
The whole enchilada. The whole enchilada is quite long. I honestly, I fell into real estate. I moved to New York in 2006. I was 20, about to be 21. And you know, things were difficult. I was waiting tables at Planet Hollywood in Times Square, and I couldn't pay my bills. So I was also taking time in between that to be one of those kids in the middle of Times Square who sells Broadway tickets to tourists, walking around convincing complete strangers to go see Broadway shows. And, you know, it was obviously a much different time in my life. I was really struggling with health and confidence. I was, you know, twice the size I am now. I was about 400 pounds. Anyway, I moved here with my best friend and was living with her. And then things happened and that lease ended. And I moved in with a stranger off of Craigslist. And he was a rental agent in the East Village. And I kind of saw his lifestyle. And I remember thinking back then, I was like, what you do is so easy. I was like, I could do it. And so that year, I got my real estate license and started doing rentals. And was not making any money. You know, I think my
2007.
Yeah, that would have been 2007.
Wow.
And you know, and I think in 2007 I made like $10,000, and then in 2008 I made like $30,000. And at the end of 2008, when the market crashed, I was like, I was already poor. And I have my dog in my lap, by the way, because he goes crazy at every little noise. And so I just want to be able to be like, stop. Shh.
Beautiful dog. No, we don't mind the extra guest.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, I thought maybe he'd get some extra viewers for you because he's very cute. So anyway, you know, when the market crash happened at the end of 2008, I was like, I already was poor. I already don't have any money. And so I really was like, I'm just going to move home. And I posted an ad on Craigslist. So back then, the rental game in New York City was you posted as many Craigslist ads a day as you could and tried to get your phone to ring. And there's no loyalty in those relationships. And the fees are really high to work with a rental broker. And a lot of people felt like they could do it themselves and save that fee. But I got these clients off of this post that were looking for a $6,000 a month 3-bedroom. And this post changed my life. And it was such like a reference point that I use now in my business, because, you know, it's just, you never know what moment is going to lead to the thing that makes everything so much better. And
so true.
And so I was about to move home back to Alabama. And I posted this ad on Craigslist. I got this lead for these guys looking for a $6,000 3-bedroom. At that point, my biggest rental I'd ever closed was like a $2,000 a month 1-bedroom. So this lead was huge to me.
Right.
And anyway, hit it off with them, found them an apartment. It made me like a $3,000 net commission. And that was enough for me to be like, okay, I'm going to stick this out a little bit longer. Those guys went to Princeton, and one of them just thought I was like the funniest, jolly, overweight gay boy he had ever met, and he introduced me to their relocation services at Princeton University. And I went on to do like 80 deals with Princeton grads.
See, I didn't know that. Tyler, we've been
Yeah.
together for a long time. That's awesome. Go, keep going.
So anyway, and that changed my life. You know, in the next few months, it was the first time I had ever made. I didn't make like crazy money, but I made around like $200,000. And all of a sudden, I was like, oh, I think I figured this out.
Wow.
And so I took that and ended up handling relocation for Harvard and Yale as well, which was funny because I didn't go to college. And so all of a sudden here I was handling relocation for 3 Ivy League schools. So 2 graduates from Yale, Phil and David. I actually was not their agent, but I got all their friends' apartments, and they reached out to me and they're like, we want to start a real estate company. And that company was Triple Mint, the company. And so I started it with them, and I just said yes for some reason. And you know, that company grew to be hugely successful in New York. Just acquired by the agency after, you know, existing for 10 years. And Labor Day of 2022, it officially became public, and now we're the agency. And, you know, and I always think back to quitting, posting a Craigslist ad.
Amazing, isn't it? I'm like, look back, wow.
That led to all of these opportunities, you know. Working for that company was the first time I had health insurance, which allowed me to get weight loss surgery and lose 200 pounds. And I really came out of my shell, and then used that story publicly, my weight loss story, instead of being embarrassed about it. I decided to wear it as a badge of honor that, yes, I had, let me put this on focus. You know, wear it as a badge of honor. And it connected me with so many people that I ended up doing business with. And that was where, for me, I ended up learning that my path to success was going to be, instead of doing what a lot of real estate agents do, which is, you know, posting and sharing all of these sales that they've closed, and I'm number one, and this was my ranking, that always made me really uncomfortable. And I think that's probably like my inner insecure fat boy of just like, comparison has always destroyed me and crushed me. And so when I realized that me sharing vulnerable, honest stories made me human and relatable to people, and the audience, you know, not everybody wants to work with Tyler, but a lot of people do.
Yes.
Because they feel like they can trust me. They're like, oh, you're just like me. You're just like me. And that's who I need to work with and partner up in this very important, you know, stage of my life where I'm looking for a home.
It's wonderful. And by the way, Tyler, I love that. And that's what makes you so special. Ladies and gentlemen, my beautiful people here, Tyler has done so much, has grown so much, and he knows how to share that. You have no qualm of relating and talking to us about your hard moments, right?
Oh,
and
no,
look at you, and look at you now. So you now with the agency, you doing amazing job. You have a lot of new things. So what is something you're excited about it right now?
The podcast is new to me, and I got to tell you, for me, and I even include $1 Million Listing in this. The podcast is my favorite thing I've ever done. You know, it's the first time I've had a platform. Firstly, I do it with Glenda Baker. She and I have been friends long before anybody knew who either of us were. So we just have a great dynamic. We have a great rapport. We have really powerful conversations one-on-one. And we were like, should we start recording these? and it's been cathartic, and it's also been so powerful to put this out. We've built a completely organic audience. We haven't put any money behind it other than just really recording it. Beautiful. And the feedback of people that we get who are like, I feel like I'm not alone now. Like, I thought that this was just me. I thought that and it's so great for us to hear from 2 people who have been doing this for a while and have a lot of success, that, you know, this is how they've dealt with these things, and it doesn't go away. You just learn how to, you know, I heard a quote on TikTok, life doesn't get easier. Whoa. life doesn't get easier. You just get better at doing hard things.
Oh,
And,
isn't it true?
and that's really, I identified with that so much. I was like, because I was like, my day is full of deals that are messy and people who are not coming to terms, and me having to call people and tell them they didn't get the home they want, or call a seller and let them know that the interest rates went up and now the buyer can't afford it anymore, so they have to back out. Like, I have to make those phone calls.
Right.
I've just gotten a lot better at them. I
Right.
choose not to internalize them.
I love it, and you work on it all the time. So Tyler, and by the way, all of you guys here, I hope you take some notes, because we're also going to talk about some success principle, because I got some questions for you, Tyler. Of course, I couldn't come here talk to a superstar like you without some questions, because some people already asked me, please ask him this, please ask him that. So
Let's hear it.
that's the price of being an amazing agent and top producer like you are. But before that, very quickly before the questions, another questions about success and how can we win even big in 2023. How does it feel to go from a broken, startup agent in New York to be one of the best in the world, selling over $200 million like you did last year in real estate? How does it feel? Tell us about that. So, where you are right now, how you feel about that?
It's surreal. So I was telling my team about this. It was 3 years ago that.
And now you have a beautiful team. You have an amazing team. Oh my God. I'm sorry. I got excited about this.
But 3 years ago, I remember sitting in meetings and we kept selling the team. I started my team in 2017. And I think in 2018,
I remember,
we sold like 40 million. And then in 2019, we sold like 55 million. And I remember I kept telling them, I was like, I can't wait until we're $100 million team. And to me, that was kind of like, I was like, once I'm $100 million team, I've made it. That's enough. And, that's $3 million in commissions, and there's plenty of money to go around and us all to be living our dream. So in 2020, we didn't hit 100 million. 2020 was a rough year in New York, but we did still do our best year up until that moment. We did like 87 million. And so I was like, 2021 is going to be my $100 million year. And that was a quantum leap year for us. That was when I was like, oh my gosh, like that quantum leap thing that I keep hearing about in coaching happened for us. And in 2021, so we went from 87 million and we did 238 million in 2021. And it's funny how quickly your brain adjusts to that.
right?
Because obviously, this year has been a much more challenging year, and we're wrapping up the year closer to 200 million this year. And the team was kind of like down for a second. And I was like, guys, remember 3 years ago when all we wanted to be was $100 million team? I was like, and now we do 200 million. And we're like, we're just like,
yeah. Tyler, I have to share because I love it. I've been so proud and honored to be part of your journey and to have you part of my journey. I remember when you came to me. Can I tell what you're doing when you came to me? Because, I was your first business coach and you were doing $500,000 in gross commission. And we went from $500,000 to 1.6 in 1 year. And you kicking ass, and you were like, I don't know if that coachable. I said, darling, nobody does 100% of everything I ask you. You are kicking ass, and we put this team together. I remember because it's good memories for me, and I love sharing. I remember when I asked you to do your first video for your database. I'm like, what I'm going to say in your first video, and you did so beautifully and went kind of viral in our community. Remember the first video sent to the database? And all of a sudden, you're like, oh, I'm doing a season. I'm doing another season. I'm like, yes, he's excited. He's into it. And you, like me, Tyler, you don't do anything half-assed. You go head down first, aren't you?
Yeah.
I love it. Everything you do, you put your heart and your soul and your passion. So tell me here, talk about some of the key of success here, if you don't mind. Share here with these amazing people that sometimes feel like, I don't even know what to do. Life, real estate is so tough and so hard. So when did you become aware, Tyler, that managing your mindset, working your mindset was important?
Oh, that mindset work became really important to me actually during my weight loss journey. So it was the end of 2015 that I had that I had weight loss surgery. And at that point in my life, body positivity was not in my vocabulary. I looked in the mirror and was disgusted by myself. I did not know how to love myself. And that showed up in everything that I did. And I really thought I'll lose the weight and all of my problems will go away and I will take over the world. And that's not what happened at all for me. I lost the weight, but the negativity, like the thoughts in my head, were still alive and well. And all of a sudden, that was the first wake-up call that I had of, oh, I'm going to have to really do some work on myself internally. Because you've spent 30 years thinking that your weight was the issue, and it turned out that your thinking was the bigger issue.
Right?
Yeah, and so that was 2016 was when I started heavily investing in coaching, and and just started putting routines together and simple practices. And I was working with business coach like you, and I was working with a life coach separately. And like between the two, I really, and it wasn't an overnight process. I have really
Never is, right? Never is.
Yeah, and I've actually really started to realize like the science behind like neuroplasticity and like really rewiring those grooves in your brain to this like fire towards a different thing, and have some pattern interrupters when those negative thoughts creep in, because they still creep in, like.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you. How do you do right now with your routine to keep those freaking horrible self-talk and fear coming in?
So I have a practice that has really, really done wonders for me. And so I think of my thoughts as a character, right? And so I have my negative thoughts, I have named them as this person. And by giving, so my negative thoughts are Caitlin. I don't know why I just named it Caitlin. And so when these thoughts creep in, I'm like, oh, here comes Caitlin. And what it's done is it's tricked my brain into thinking that's not me. That's somebody else. That's Caitlin. That is, and now it comes in every single time. And I almost laugh to myself when the thoughts creep in. I'm like, oh, Caitlin, you need to be quiet. Not today.
Shut up, Caitlin.
And then I'm Super Tyler. And so like Super Tyler beats Caitlin every single day. And so, but your thoughts are crazy because when they're inside of your brain, you identify with them. They feel so real. My negative thoughts come at night when I'm laying in bed thinking about random I'm about to fall asleep, and all of a sudden these weird thoughts come in of like, oh, you've got this tomorrow and it's not going to go well. You're not prepared. This person and this person are looking for, like, it's weird, the thoughts that'll come in. I'll be like, oh, so-and-so, the showings didn't go well today, so they're probably out looking for another broker right now. And then, but because I'm like, that's Caitlin, Super Tyler comes in, and it's like the first thing you're doing when you wake up is you're sending them new options, and you're finding them solutions, and just taking the smallest actions. And it can be an email, it can be a text message, it can be a few listings. And if there isn't a listing that matches it, just be like, I want to make sure you understand that I know what's missing from the search right now. I'm hunting for that home. I do know that if I believe, I only say this if I believe it, but in your price range in the neighborhood we're looking on, we will find it, because I've seen it many times. It's just not available right now. And so I need you to give me a few days, because I'm going to go find this home for you, and make sure that and then that just takes all of that negativity out of me, and it makes me feel powerful. I'm like, oh,
Yeah. And the thing is, let me, what I hear, and I hope you guys are paying close attention to this, because this is gold. What Tyler says is gold. What are you doing actually, darling? You're doing some of those, you are reframing, you're doing some NLP exercise. You are seeing yourself as a third person. It's actually not you. So you reframe the situation, so you're not attached to that self-talk. So you can tell, hey, Caitlin, shut up, get away. This is not me. And the other thing too, that you realize now your pattern is, most of the time, when we are less vigilant, when we stop controlling the beast, I call my mind the beast, and I tell myself the beast is my friend, because I'm going to make her my friend, right? But when you are tired, exhausted, or maybe falling asleep right between beta and alpha, is that when you are so relaxed, you're less vigilant, and then the BS, the stories, the fear come in. That's why you feel a little more fearful early in the morning or late at night. But now you know it, and you already have a pattern for that. I love that. Good for you. So I hope you guys do that. So everybody got to have a Jeffrey or Caitlin or John. I love it. I love it. So you have a nice daily routine. So in the morning, you start taking action. Wonderful. And how about the videos? You do video, go on TV. You know how many people don't want to do video. So do you have like a little pre-video routine? Like I do teach you guys the pre-prospecting routine. What's your pre-video, pre-presentation routine, my darling?
Well, here's the funny thing about video, because I encourage everybody to do it. And I had the same fears as everybody's like, but you're such a natural on video. You're so good at this. I was like, I am now, because I've literally made thousands of them. So yes, I am now. But just like anything in my life, when I started, I fumbled over my words. I felt awkward. I didn't know what to do with my hands. I was worried about what I looked like. And, my early videos were not good, they were and so, I now will tell you, I am so confident and comfortable on video. I don't prepare. I actually have gotten to a point now where I'm like, oh, my stream of consciousness is actually what's special about me. And I've learned that. And so I will, if I'm doing like a big day of reels, I can actually bust out 50 videos in a 6-hour shoot.
I love it. You guys hear that? 60 videos in a 6-hour shoot. I love it. Practice, right? Practice makes this.
Totally. And what I've actually learned is, so like in 60 videos, that'll get me through about 5 months. And so I don't have to do it that often either. People are like, oh, it takes so much time. I'm like, I do like 3 video shoots a year, and I have endless content. The biggest key strategies I have for you is do topics that are evergreen. I don't really make that many videos about what's going on in the market today. If I want to talk about what's going on in the market today, I'll do like a quick story or something. But the market is changing too rapidly. And I've just learned that I'll get my videos back. And by the time I'm going to post whatever that market video I did was, it's already outdated. By the time, because it takes almost a month to get it back. So,
but Tyler, you do stories. You do little stories about the market now. I see it. So you do well on that.
Yeah, but I do those just like almost live. I don't do those professionally. The other thing that I've learned is, people are more engaged with stories and things that you did and how you got out of a situation, or people like funny things, people like inspirational things.
Right.
What I don't think performs well in videos are actually home tours, which is what every real estate agent is doing. And I'm like, people dream shop on Zillow all day. So you walking through a home video, A, doesn't make you stand out. People don't get to know you through that. And B, if they want to do like fantasy, because people do love that, but people live on Zillow and type in their favorite city where they've always dreamed of living, or their favorite vacation, and they just go through that. So if you want to build your brand and connect with your audience, you need to be talking to the camera, telling stories, giving advice, giving some inspiration, and telling the truth. People, if you don't tell the truth, people will read you to death. Your question was, how do I prepare for videos?
No, but you told us also, that's the biggest one, your mindset preparation, your thinking, your frame of mind, because if you don't have a good frame of mind, and you don't even have the content. So I love it.
Yeah. I will say, if you go into any video session, I hear people say all the time, when I ask somebody to film with me and they're like, I need to lose 10 pounds first. I'm like, the only person who cares about your 10 pounds is you. Nobody's watching your video and being like, oh, they're a little chubbier than usual, but like the things that people think about before they go on, it's your ego. Like, let that go. Your thoughts need to be, this is going to be awesome. This is going to make me a lot of money, because I can tell you that the biggest driver of my business is the videos. It's not $1 million listing. And I got $1 million listing because of my videos. Exactly. And it's just so funny how, like, when preparation meets opportunity, because, so much of getting on the show is talking to the camera, like whenever we're doing those bites and we're interviewing. And so when I went in for that, they were like, you're such a natural at this. And I was like, Well, I've been doing it for years. I wouldn't say I'm natural. It's just that this is exactly what I've been doing on my Instagram for the last
Yeah.
3 years.
I love you saying that, Tyler, because it's so important for everybody to hear here because people think this is all overnight. I can relate to this because I was doing videos 10 years ago, and me, English is my second language. I invented Word. I said so many shitty stuff. I made crazy stuff, but I kept doing it, and people relate to that. So you created such a beautiful credibility. You're relatable and people know you for real and you show up for real. That's awesome. Let me ask you this. Now, video is important. You created this amazing brand and you keep growing and people keep following you. We love you. Now, let's go back here too also in terms of not only building the brand, not only building your amazing social media platform, but also in terms of real estate also skills. If you could name one skill or two that really you believe helped you to build this great business you have right now, darling, what would you say? What would be some of the skills that you learned? And then one more question. What are you working on right now in terms of skills?
My superpower, and I think the reason that I'm successful is because I am incredible at having conversations. I am very good. And I think what makes me good is I don't handle anything like it's a business conversation. I am there to get on the same page as somebody, give them my true, honest advice, listen to them, listen to their concerns, give them the feedback. And the thing that I've really had to work on there is listening and shutting up, because I think so many real estate agents get in there and it's an ego-driven business. And I think the ego side of the business is really detrimental to many people. They're like, I need to talk. I need to give them the information. You actually don't need to talk that much. You need to listen. You need to listen beautifully. And then don't bring up it. There's a thing that I see a lot of, I've even had people on my team that have had to coach around this, is if people aren't worried about something, you don't necessarily need to bring it up. You don't need to be like planting new concerns. And there's so many facets to real estate that too much information can scare somebody out of even wanting to get started. And so for me, I listen to what they're saying. I give them some peace and serenity surrounding whatever their concerns are. I listen to the things that they're excited about and I hang on to those and I make them feel even better about those things. And, and so that's all I'm there to do is listen to the motivation and squeeze it and remind them of it throughout the search, and then listen to their concerns and put ease around that, and then go right back to the motivation, right? Like I'm going to shut down the concern, or I'm going to let you know that doesn't need to be your concern. That's why you have me. I'll take care of that. Now, aren't you so excited about, and go right back to the feel good stuff, because I'm also rewiring their brains. I'm getting them to think about how great this is going to be. And I assume the best. I assume the best and I assume the yes. So, those are things that help me in conversations. And my team says it all the time. Where I lack and the skill that I have to work on is my behind the scenes work. And once I learned that, my strategy there has been to hire people who are really good at the behind the scenes work, because I've just accepted that that's not my gift in this world. That is not what I was put here to do. So I have Bailey, and I have a lot of staff on my team strictly for that reason. But I'm so good at having conversations that I can bring in business endlessly. And then I say, I make it rain, they've got the mop.
Right. You go fishing, they gotta clean up and got the fish. Same thing. So Tyler, it's fantastic. What I heard you say, and it's so true, is you are coming from a place of service and you're creating a beautiful experience. You're not here, I'm the salesperson, I'm here to sell something. That is such a big mistake that I keep telling all my clients and everybody that's listening here. Guys and girls, selling is not telling. Stop talking. Ask what people want. Come from a place of service. You are the consultant, Tyler. I love it. You come, what you need, what you want, tell me your pain, your dream, and then you help them to see it, and then you bring them to a whole beautiful energy, and that's going to the closing, it's like an orchestra. You create such experience, they want to be around you. That's so beautiful. And then you're doing the other thing that I want to just to point out that you said, in case someone here missed it, what you're doing is you're working on your strengths, you're delegating your weakness, you're working a superpower. And I tell you all the time, your number one job is to be in front of people because you're lovable and you know how to talk to people. You're having conversations. So I love it. I love this. Love this. So what is right now, anything else that you're working on specifically that we should know? Any specific skill?
I mean, the big thing where you've been helping us a lot with this, the big project is integrating into a new CRM right now. And it has been such an undertaking. The entire team is working on it. But I'm already seeing, because I have like 7,000 contacts I'm going through and organizing. And it's so funny. There's so many names. I'm like, do I know this person? That's a solid like 70% of the names. I'm like, who? But then there's like, I would say another 10% are like people who are like top of mind. 10% of my list is 700 people that whenever I see, I'm like, oh, I love them. We did this, this, and this together. And I know exactly what to say to them. But there's like probably 2,000 people that when I saw their name, I was like, oh my gosh, I haven't talked to this person in 10 years. And I remember that once upon a time, they were in that like top of mind space. I was like, I can't wait to reach out to them. And so that's been the project. And it's also been an eye opener of, how important that is. Cause I was like, what would my number have been this year if I had been doing this all along? I try not to think about those things.
Yeah, we're going to get there. Looking back, right, everything is perfect. So I love that. And we're going to grow that. This is a diamond mine you have, Tyler, that we're working on it. So now, guys and gals, for you guys watching out there, so we talk about some principles of success that I want you to really start working on and implement in 2023 and beyond. So we talk about mindset, right, Tyler? We talk about mindset, and then we talk about skills. He's talking about, being prepared and doing the videos and delegating your weakness and doing what you do best. Now, action, because you take action. Now, we also know that no one take out the action that we like to do, right? But you are decisive and everything. Now, share here with us, what do you do when you don't feel like doing something, Tyler? What do you do when you know you have to take action, but you don't feel like doing? Do you have any specific?
I do. I pick one small task that I know I need to get done, just one simple thing that I think will take me under 10 minutes, and I do that. And it gets me in motion, and then once I do one thing, I've learned around goal setting, right? So I'm like, oh, I want to sell $300 million. And, how do you sell $300 million? One sale at a time,
True.
And so you just go in and you start doing the little things. I have been a victim, and I know a lot of people in real estate have this too, of just like getting so caught up in the big picture that it's failure to launch over and over again. People are like, how do I do video? I'm going to need to find a videographer. I need to come up with all these topics. I need to write 100 scripts. And then, by the time they're done, they don't get started because it's just like, it feels like too much.
Overwhelming.
If you want to get started, do some lives, turn your phone around and make some homemade videos whenever it's top of mind, just like do something real quick. Yeah. Because you're going to get practice and you might be awkward on camera at first. So, doing the little ones on your phone that you can just do quick posts and maybe they only live on your feed for 24 hours while you're getting used to it and getting comfortable being in front of the camera, will then have you feeling more confident and also be getting content out there while you're working on your actual action plan to do more professional videos. And then when those professional videos come along, you're more practiced. You've been in front of the camera. You've talked to the camera before.
I love it. So this is what I hear you say. You take action. You first start because you put your body in motion. Your mind will follow. So you always taking action, doing the things. And so who holds you accountable?
I'm pretty difficult to hold accountable. I will say this is not one of my strengths. I'm very charming, so I get away with a lot. So Bailey is the best. And I've found a true partner in her because she's the first person I've worked with who knows how to deal with me, because she gets that what's special about me. And then she knows that a lot of the stuff that she follows up with me about, it's better for both of us if she just does it. And so, but Bailey's definitely great accountability. Having a coach that I have to check in with each week is great accountability. So I know whenever I'm getting on a call with you that I'm like, oh, I can't say I didn't do this again, and I'm not a liar. So
I
I'm
love
not
it for them.
not gonna pretend I did something that I didn't. That's just silly. And coaching is too much of an investment to pretend that something is going on that's not going on. But it's kind of like whenever you want to go to the gym and a membership to a gym is like $100 a month. But if you get a personal trainer and it's $150 a session, you're more likely to show up for that and actually do the work. And then if you're investing that kind of money in your training, you're probably going to be a little more inclined to be mindful about what you're eating because you don't want to waste this. And so, to be honest, my bank account keeps me accountable sometimes. I'm like, hey, I need to make sure that I'm fully investing in this process because I've invested financially, but I don't want that money to just go down the drain. So honestly, things that cost money are actually things that hold me accountable because I want to make sure I'm getting an ROI in every single thing that I'm, investing in financially.
I love it. And what you say here is gold. And I love what you're saying because you are talking about investing yourself and looking at return on investment of time, of energy, of money. And nobody's here to waste time. And you do it because also you set an example for your team. And you're such a great person inside, Tyler. And I'm not BSing, I don't. You want to feel proud of yourself. You want to feel good about yourself because it builds self-esteem. For someone who didn't have a lot of self-esteem before, you understand the power of giving yourself some love and respect. So this is so awesome. And I love that you're working on that because every day is a fight, right? Every day is a fight, doing the things. And the other thing you said, I just want to point out, and some people miss it, is the power of having daily goals. I was like this when I was a top producer, and I also, like you, visionary, thinking all this big thing, I'm going to do this, I'm going to be number one in the city. And, and I did, but what helped me a lot was to bring everything to the week. So how many conversations I'm going to have today is mostly even important. How many appointments I'm going to set today? So once you have the goals, you have your dreams up and visual, but you really bring this beast, this great thing down to one day, one step at a time, one appointment at a time, one, sale at a time. Is so powerful. I love that. Darling, you taking the action. One more thing before I go. I know. Can you have a little more time? How do you inspire action? How do you inspire action? Because a lot of people say, "Oh, I feel deflated. I'm demotivated." That the bullshit about motivation. I always tell you don't need more motivation. You need to take more action, and you need more skills. But it's important to inspire ourselves. It's important to motivate ourselves. So, how do you inspire your action, Super Tyler?
Well, a thing I enjoy is writing. And so every day for me, I write a gratitude list, I do a journal entry, but a practice I did, and I actually saw this, I like to watch a lot of inspirational videos. They're very helpful to me and they actually do motivate me. One of my favorite motivational speakers, believe it or not, is Steve Harvey.
Yeah, you told me that. It's
most
so
people
cool.
know him as a comedian, but if you find his inspirational speeches online, I mean, they are incredible. And one thing that he did was one of his suggestions was to write a list of 300 things that you want in your life. And it's a really hard practice. And he was like, it can be financial, it can be things, it can be experiences, it can be whatever you want, but 300 things that you want in your life. And he was like, you're probably going to come up with like 50 to 60 pretty quickly. He's like, you're going to think of the cars and the homes and the places and the money
and the blings.
Yeah. And then he's like, but the reason that it's 300 is because it's going to force you to get so outside of your reality, and so outside of how your brain currently exists, so far into the future that, and he's like, and it's going to make you think big. And some of the things you're going to write down are going to feel ridiculous.
Right.
And so it took me 2 months to get through my 300 things because it was I was like, what else could I possibly want? And I read that list every morning. And that's what he says to do in the video. He's like, you read the list every morning, you read the list every night. And
That's awesome.
it
So
fires me
expand your
up.
mind. Expand your mind and help you to think bigger. You can't go to another level, think the same way that got you here. So
No.
remember when we had dinner in New York and you told me the story and I loved it. And I said, Tyler, it reminds me of one of my coaches that told me this. He said, Vanda, I have an exercise for you to help you to think bigger, because I'm like you, Tyler. I came from very little. I came to this country. I had $500 in my pocket, no English, grew up poor, no television, no car, no phone. I mean, I came here to kick ass, like you went from Alabama to kick ass. And you told me the story. I remember my coach telling me this. Okay, here's the game. He said, I'm going to give you $100 million. You have to use the money, $100 million in 24 hours, but you cannot give it away. You got to use $100 million in 24 hours, but you cannot give it away. It forces you to think how you can buy things, you can, build things. You see, people think about buy. When I start thinking about building and helping others, the $100 million went away in 3 hours. Very quickly.
I'm showing a $40 million place as soon as we're done with this. I was like, so there goes half, because
right. Well, actually, now would be probably you should do like $1 billion, right, or something.
Right.
So I love it. So Tyler, this is so cool. So we talked about 3 principles, success principles that Tyler Whitman really used, and it's improving every day, getting better. We talk about the importance of a mindset for you guys in the 2023 and beyond. We talk about the importance and the action of being the skills of learning what to do, how to do it, from video to having your CIM in place and follow up and delegating, leveraging yourself and building a team in leadership, because Tyler, you're working on your leadership immensely. So we talk about mindset, skills, and the action. He shared here with you guys amazing hacks and easy steps for you to really know what to do and take action every day. Right, my darling?
Yeah.
I love it. So before the final thoughts, because I want to share here, we have people here, Tyler. By the way, guys and girls, you better share this with someone that needs this, because the energy of Tyler and his clarity and his beautiful heart is so big. So you want to share this with everybody that you know. Before final thoughts, Tyler, share here with them how they can follow you, how they can learn more about you, please.
Oh, sure. I mean, the best way to find me, I'm most active on Instagram. It's just at Tyler Whitman. I am on TikTok now, but and I'm putting content out, but I'm new on TikTok. So it's like I have a smaller platform, but I'm enjoying it. I'm learning it's a different style of video. So I might have to make specific videos that are just TikTok. But you can follow me there. It's Tyler Whitman 85, which is the year I was born. Or you can just email me, tyler@theagencyre.com. And that's the best way to get in touch.
I love it. And by the way, yeah, if you have any comments, also post here, DM me, DM Tyler. So Tyler, darling, before we go, final thoughts. Right here, listening here, I have clients, like you, all the different ages, from 35 years in the business to 3 months in the business. People brand new, people starting over, some people very successful want to go up like you do. So what would you say, like final thoughts, or maybe like a final advice from the amazing Tyler Whitman to this crowd, the beautiful crowd?
This is a thought that I share a lot, because I am a believer that, and as somebody who has gotten this far, people do say like, oh, you're an overnight success. You got on a TV show and your business exploded. And it's not the case. What I have been doing is taking a lot of actions along the way. And I'm embarrassed to say that those actions were not hard. I have not done anything that was super difficult, that is not doable by anybody else. What I have learned through coaching and through going to these speaking engagements that I do and teaching other agents, and my life was forever changed. Coach V, you sent me a video, years ago about, what's the coach's name? Not Tony Robbins, before Tony Robbins. He was Tony Robbins' coach.
Jim Rohn.
Jim Rohn, exactly.
So did you say I sent you a video? You said it made a big impact?
You sent me this Jim Rohn video, and I just identified with it so much, and I continue to think about it, is that like the only difference between people who succeed and people who don't is that there is only a small percentage of people who actually take action, who actually come to these things like what we're doing right now and leave and actually do what we say. And I get it because I speak at local things all the time for Revney and then they have all these educational series. And it kind of breaks my heart because the same 15 people are in the front row every single time, and yet they're not doing any business. And I just want to like reach out and say, showing up to this is not how it happens. It's taking what you learned here and going out there and doing something with it and actually like putting into action and like taking some risks and being in action and not being afraid to make a mistake or embarrass yourself, because you might in the beginning. I know I still make mistakes and embarrass myself. And you know, and then I recover and I don't make the same mistake twice. But I just see it so much when it's really when I go to these things and I'm like, it's the same people asking me the same questions about how I make my videos and how I do these things. And then I go to their Instagram 3 months later, not a video to be found, you know?
Isn't
And
it true? Oh, Tyler,
you do realize that you're gonna have, it's not just gonna, this is not osmosis. This is an action business. This is an action life. If you want results, do something. Take what you've learned and do something. Learning is not enough.
Oh, I love that. And thank you for reminding me that. Amazing. I'll give you guys so many things. Sometimes I don't know what touched your heart. And Jim Rohn touched my heart. And I saw him live many times. And it's so true because you see, knowledge is only potential power. Mm-hmm. If you don't do the shit, nothing happens. The money, the freedom, the joy, the fulfillment is an action. So I'm so glad. And you do take action. You do take action. When I ask you to do something, even if I have to push and pull, and maybe even screaming a little bit, you still do it because you know there is progress and success on the other side of fear, on the other side of feeling uncomfortable. And you're amazing. I follow you. I love seeing your progress in the gym. I love seeing your life with your dogs and everything. And I hope everybody does follow you because you are a light in this planet. You are the real person. And it's a pleasure and honor to be part of your team and to have you in my life. And thank you for your time here. I hope you guys found this valuable. And I hope you do what Tyler is saying. Right now, you take 1 minute, stop all the bullshit, stop the everything else, take 1 minute. And from here, what are you going to do from this? What is one action you're going to take from this conversation? Because otherwise, like Tyler said, it just dissipates. 3 days later, you forget all about it and nothing changes. Isn't it true, Tyler?
So true.
Take one action, my darlings, one action. So Tyler, thank you so much. Anything else, darling, you want to say?
No, this was a blast. Thanks for asking me to do it. Coach, you're the best. I feel like maybe we should do one where we ask all the same questions, but it's reversed. And I ask you these questions.
Oh, I'd love to. I would love to. You know me. I love to tell my crazy stories, my fun story. I love it. And let's do it again. Let's do it again. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. So everyone, go have a great day. Go sell a lot of homes. Go do the actions. And thank you for being here. Thank you, Tyler. Love you, darling.
Love you.
Bye. Ciao.
Bye.